Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jason with Fresh Off the Clock, Esports Division. Today we will be going over an interview with Concord University, and I hope you enjoy the interviewing process. We'll be starting off from beginner knowledge all the way to the pro knowledge. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the interview.
Alright, we are all here.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Hello. Good.
All right. So, like I said, I planned for some one-on-one questions here, and I'm really glad that you guys could take out the time to sit with me and Fresh Off the Clock Esports Division. So, Austin, I'd like to start with you, if that's all right.
Yeah, it's perfectly okay.
All right. So, just so our viewers know, what is your position on the team?
So I'm the esports director, so I'm the one in charge of the full program, and that's what I run. I run the Concord Esports program.
All right. And so, what does it exactly mean to be an esports director?
So esports directors basically means you do like 6 different jobs. You coach. I used to coach Overwatch. I coach multiple different games throughout my time here. Then I have rotated away because now I have support staff with me. So now I'm rotating into more of what the director role is supposed to be doing, which is recruiting players, managing our budget, making sure that we can go to the LAN events, working with my marketing and brand director to ensure that our sponsorship deals and things like that are going well. And then I travel around the state to help esports help esports start up in West Virginia. So we just looking to get esports started up in Princeton and in Mercer County as a whole. We recently helped McDowell. We had helped Webster County before. So we travel. One of my big things is traveling around the state to help our players or help high schools start up esports.
All right. Well, thank you. That was very in depth. I really appreciate that. Now, before we get too deep into the interview, why not tell our viewers a little about yourself and, something along the lines of like what your favorite game of all time is?
Got you. So, a little bit about myself. I've been a gamer since I was a little kid. Even got grounded because I may or may not have told not told my brothers that I was playing Pokemon. We were supposed to share. We only had one system, and I quietly said, "Hey, anyone wants to play?" And no one said yes. And I said it so quiet, no one could hear me, so I got grounded for it. But I've been a gamer ever since then. My favorite game was actually Mass Effect. Growing up as Mass Effect is always will be Mass Effect. I've played all 3 plus Andromeda. I have all the books over here that I read all of the Mass Effect books that they made. I have every single collector edition posters. I even have mini figure because I paint, as you can see. I paint minis. I have a mini figure that I painted up of that stuff. So Mass Effect is my favorite character or game. Single player, multiplayer game, it has to be Overwatch for me. That's how I got into esports. Was in the college level, one of my friends asked me, "Hey, let's start up esports. Let's do Overwatch." I'm like, "Okay." And then I went over the summer, did it. And he came back and said, "Dude, I was joking." I'm like, "Well, too late. You're my vice president. We have a club. We have a university club. And we're now doing esports." And then rolled that into landing the job at Concord right out of college. I've been doing this now for the past 5 years. So that's a little bit about myself, history, and like my favorite games.
Thank you so much for that. It sounds like you had quite the experience getting to where you are now. And so, with that, I guess, what are some of the aspects that you don't think come to mind when people think of esports director?
So the big thing I don't think people understand with esports director is we don't get to play games. That's not our job. Our job is to know the game so well that I can know. I have 13 different games that we compete in. My job as the director is to know all 13 games at the highest level. So if I'm going into my league room and talking to my league players, I need to be at the level of my league team. If I'm going and talking to Jan about Street Fighter, I need to have the knowledge of Street Fighter so I can actually help him or at least understand the struggles he's going through so I can be there for him. Or Overwatch with Akira and his captain, his team. I have to be there for and make sure I know Overwatch enough to help Akira. Smash, I have to be there for Ashton and his team. So I need to know every single game at the highest level so therefore I can at least go in and have conversations. And also, I'm the recruiter, so I need to know the game at the highest level so I know if this player is good enough to even send over to Akira for Dylan for Overwatch. if it's a bad player, I don't need to send it over. I need to know the knowledge of that game enough. So therefore, when I send it over to my captain for Overwatch, I'm not wasting their time sending them a player that wouldn't fit our team. So I need to know that. And most people don't realize that directors a lot about socializing and understanding the games at the highest level.
That sounds actually quite challenging for you to do. I mean, 13 games, that's an awful lot of upkeep, no, with like updates and things of that like.
Yes, luckily we recently I have an assistant director. His name is Nathan Fuji. We all call him Fuji. So if you say Fuji, that's who we're talking about. Fuji is our assistant director. Part of his job is to help update the games, help manage us. So now we can split that load. Instead of me having to know 13 games, now he's able to come in and take most of those games off from me, and that's his main job is day-to-day operations. But I still help in with the games that I know a lot about, so that he doesn't have to do all the games by himself. But before that, yeah, it was such a load trying to manage 13 games, making sure all that's going well, and all of the other back end stuff as an administrator was also going well, but also helping the students. Now having Fuji there. We also have a mental performance coach, Angela, she with an assistant who helps ensure that our students are doing academically good, emotionally good, physically, and all of that. Having support structure that we have built at Concord has alleviated a lot of the stress that I have or a director would have normally because we're able to build this structure. So therefore, that job is spread over more people now.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're getting the help that I mean you obviously need with 13 games. I mean the constant updates and everything from that. I know I've played many of the games like Street Fighter and League of Legends and Overwatch, and I know that constantly the flow of the game is changing. So I can imagine that that's probably some of the greatest challenges you've overcome in the last 5 years. With that said, what are some of the daily challenges you find of being an esports director today?
So the big, probably our biggest issue today is dealing with the ever changing scene in two ways. One is the collegiate scene is shifting from right now from a lot of online play to more and more LAN events. So because of that, it's a lot of me managing my budget to make sure that we're not going to too many LAN events and we're not over investing. Smash sometimes get upset with us because they're always asking about, hey, can we go to like 20 LAN events? And we're like, we can go to 4 of them, maybe 5. So it's a lot of balancing to make sure that we're giving each team a fair opportunity, but also not mismanaging our budget, and then making sure that our top teams, which would be our top two teams, would be right now would be Rocket League is definitely our number one team. Then I would say our second best teams probably is Smash. They have the most consistent record with Smash, and then Overwatch, and then into Street Fighter. Those are probably our 4 top games right now. Is would go Rocket League, Smash, I would say Street Fighter, then Overwatch. These are the most consistent records of making top 4 finishes, top 3 finishes in the last couple of years. My biggest issue is to making sure those teams get the most resources while making sure that across the board we're still being equal and getting our lower teams same experiences. And then the other half is balancing out the ever-changing landscape from a West Virginia state policy lines. We got new policies coming in, and my job to make sure those policies and we're enforcing the new school policies and things like that, and making sure that we are holding our players accountable to the right policies, and I'm making sure that we aren't doing anything wrong. But really, my big thing is all players need to be happy, and I want them to be as happy as they can here so they can be ready to go to college. I help them with resume, cover letters, and things like that. And that's something that I struggle with, is because I want to make sure every single student gets that experience. So I'm there to help every single student that asks for those things as well.
Wow, that's also very quite in depth. You do quite a lot as an esports director, and it's actually mightily impressive. So thank you for sharing that with me. Um, I guess my next question for you is out of all these challenges and struggles you go through, what is the most rewarding part about being an esports director?
So I would say the most rewarding part from a competition standpoint would be seeing our players win and seeing that the players that I have invested time, resources in, and support to make sure they can stay at college, and seeing them thrive and succeed and becoming top competition players. But on the other hand, also seeing players that struggled academically initially, struggled with a lot of personal issues and a lot of other issues in their life, and them rising above that and graduating college. It may have taken them 5, 6 years, but they have risen above it. They have a goal and something like that. Speaking of like Action, one of our players here on the call, you were talking to him later today. He is literally one of those examples. He's been here for a long time, but since I got here to the program, basically, he's been with me. But he has went through a lot, rise above it, and he's now going to be hopefully joining the military as an officer kind of thing. So like he has done a lot, risen above it, and been able to strive. And seeing those students who are able to rise above and get the dream that they want to do makes me happy. I got my dream right out of college. I want to make sure I give that to every single student, and that's the most rewarding thing. Seeing students get the dream that they want, no matter what circumstances and what challenges they have to overcome. It's my job to help them overcome those challenges.
Well, I guess while we're on the topic of goals and the rewards for those goals, what is your current goal for your team?
So our program, right now, goal is no longer just playoffs. All of our teams, since I've gotten here, have always made playoffs. Not a single team has not made playoffs since I've gotten here. So now the goal is to always finish in the top 4 of all games, kind of thing. So that's now the next goal that we're looking at, is making sure that all teams finish in the top 4 of whatever game they're playing in. But like I said, every game has made playoffs since I've been here, so now we have to level up the goal to a higher goal, which is top 4 finishes. And the big goal is to make sure Rocket League wins once again. CRL, they won the fall one. We want to win the spring run, so therefore we can cement the fact that we were the best team this academic year in Rocket League by winning both of the CRL tournaments.
Well, it's always great to level up our status and what we're trying to achieve and what we're doing. I know the skill cap for Rocket League is really high, as I'm
Yeah.
not a very good player in it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But it's quite exhilarating, I'm sure, to watch your teams come this far and now to bring it up to the next level.
Yeah, seeing. I want to say one thing. Our Rocket League team went from being a mid-tier team to then winning a small league called ECAC, and then we upgraded it to what it is now. Like we have done it the slow way. We have always had one player. His name is Chase. He's from McDowell County. He's our flagship player of that team. He has been with the team since the start of Rocket League, and we slowly have built it around him. And I'm very impressed with him.
Well, so you mentioned earlier that you have to do recruiting and that you help to find players, teams, and kind of where they belong and stuff. So, what are some of the rules or guidelines you use to do that and to reach the goals for yourself and the team?
So, usually what we do is me and my recruiters, which is me and one of my GAs, we will sit down with each team and ask them what resources they need or what player spot they need. Like for example, Overwatch right now they don't really need more support players. We have a bunch of support players for that team. What we need is a DPS player. We have only 2 DPS players, and we also need another tank. So that's the roles that we're looking for to fill for that team. And then what I do from there is I will go on different sites, stay plugged in. We use social media. We will reach out to players that our players know. A bunch of different ways, and then we talk to them and go, hey, we heard you good. We saw you at the West Virginia High School League because there's a whole esports league in West Virginia for high school. I saw you at the championship. You did really good. I would love for you to come out and try out for our team. Before we do that, though, sit down. Let's have a 30-minute meeting. We go over what our program can do for you, what our university can do to make sure they have the right major that they're looking for, and then I vibe check them. The best way I can say is we vibe check them is I want to make sure that they're fitting the vibe of Concord Esports, which is making sure they have the positivity, they're morally good, they want to play, they want to get better at the game, and they're not doing it just solely for a scholarship, but they're actually doing it because they have a competition drive behind them. And then after that, then we send them over to the captain, and the captain sets out a tryout, and then they try out with the team. And then the team tells me, hey, Austin, this is not the vibe. He's good. We like his vibe, but he's not good at the game. Or he's good at the game, but I don't think he'll be a starter next season. We still want to pick him up. We put him on the bench for a season, and then we promote him up. Basically, we redshirt him like in traditional football. We redshirt him for a semester or two, and then we promote them to a starting player. So that's like part of the process. The big thing is checking to make sure that everything that making sure they fit our need for the team that we're looking for and the vibe of that team.
Okay. Well, thank you for that answer. That's quite a lot you have to go through to recruit somebody, I would imagine. Where do you find your best recruiting spots? Do you do it like on Twitch, or do you go to like other school events, or do you pick them up at like tournaments, or how what is the process behind that?
So I would say there's three best sites, three best way we do it. One is through a recruiting site called Stay Plugged In, or Spin. That's probably one of our options. It's a really nice recruiting website, specifically designed just for esports players. So it's a way to get on there and find esports players. That's how we found, partly how we found CMOS, one of our Rocket League players, kind of thing. The other way is West Virginia has a very strong scene for high school leagues now. So we work with high school league and we go to the championships and we look at the top players that make the championship and recruit from there. Um, the other thing that we do is we look at for Smash. There's a West Virginia Smash scene, so we look at the local Smash scene. For Overwatch, what I would do is watch the semi-pro scene. I will watch I will look at Twitter, social media, and things like that to find players as well. It really depends on the game. I would say for Rocket League is obviously going to be Twitch because we on Twitter because we want the best of the best. For Smash, it's going to be the local West Virginian scene because we want Smash to be showing off the West Virginian talent. For Overwatch, it's going to be Stay Plugged In and the High School League. And like for Street Fighter, it's Jan just showed up out of nowhere and poofed into existence. And then we have one of the best players for Street Fighter on our team, kind of thing. So it's a lot of different options that we use. I might even one time use one-off thing. I might find a website that's good for one thing, use it once, find one good player, and never touch it again, just because I only needed one good player from that resource. I'm never afraid to use new resources.
Well, that's probably very important to be that malleable with your job and how you go about finding and recruiting your team together. And I'm glad to see that things are going really well for you. So I guess for my final question for you is when and where is your team's next big tournament?
So our next big tournament would be Middle Beach, which is March 7th. 7th through the 9th. We'll be playing at a LAN event in Myrtle Beach called Boost on the Beach. It's for Rocket League specifically. We'll be playing there, and at the same time, we'll be to Coastal Carolina to play our CECC qualifiers. If South qualifiers, if we win the South qualifiers, we get to go to Texas, which is the biggest event of the whole year. The CCC event is basically think March Madness for basketball, but for 5 games in esports. It's Valorant, Overwatch, Street Fighter, Smash, and Rocket League is the 5 games that are there. And we want to make sure our Rocket League guys can get to that event. So not only while we're competing in Boost on the Beach, we will also be competing on the same time for that. And all of our games will be, as far as I'm aware, all of our games will be streamed throughout both of them. I think the qualifiers may not, since we're traveling, be a little bit harder for us to stream it. But I know for a fact the Boost on the Beach games will be streamed. I think it's going to be, I don't know where it's going to be streamed yet because I haven't said anything, but it's probably going to be on Shenandoah University Esports Twitch channel because they're the ones that are hosting that event. But for all of our other games, Smash, Overwatch, League, all those games, they play every night. Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Each day we stream a different game. On Mondays is usually Smash. Tuesdays is usually Fortnite. Wednesday is we pick one of the game that we want. Wednesdays are usually more rotating. Same with Thursday. We rotate between Fortnite and Overwatch. And then on Fridays, it's usually Call of Duty, or we stream one of our other games. Usually it's Call of Duty on Friday. So that's every night, 8 o'clock at night, you can come watch our games. We have an esports arena in person, so if you want to come into Concord University and watch our games, you're more than welcome to come down to Concord University, go to Ray Hall, go up to the 3rd floor, go to the esports arena, and watch all the matches live in person at 8 p.m.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you'd like our viewers to know?
One of our big thing is we have a summer camp coming up this summer. So if you our summer camp is all in July, right after 4th of July. So after the 4th of July weekend, we will be having summer camps every single week in July. The first 2 camps are for 8 to 12-year-olds. The last 2 camps are 12 and up. The first two are more for like just general fun. The first one is general fun. The second one is slowly teaching kids how to get into esports. The third camp is FPS, focusing on a lot of FPS skills, and then the fourth camp is our recruit camp that leads into our combine that we'll have, which we will have other universities in the state coming to our esports combine to show off. Even if you don't want to enter the campus, you can pay just to come to that combine to get recruited. We would love all these people in West Virginia or out of the state to come to our summer camps. You can find all that information on our website. Go to concord.edu/esports, and you should be able to see all of our information about our summer camps and all the information that you need to know about that. But I would love for you guys to come out. That's something that we really love doing is doing these summer camps.
All right, Austin. Thank you so much for your time today. And if you don't mind, I would like to start getting into the interview with some of your team captains. With that said, who would like to go first?
I got no problem going first.
All right. Well, hello. My name is Jason. Again, I do apologize for my camera issues. It's a pleasure to meet you. Would you mind telling our viewers your name, the game you play as a pro, and how you are today?
Um, my name is Ashton Huffman, but my gamer tag is Mosey. Am captain of the Super Smash Bros. Team, as Austin has said, and that is a game I play on a collegiate level and to a degree at the local scene as well.
All right, thank you. Um, so could you also perhaps tell our viewers a little about yourself?
Like Austin said, I've been here for a great good while, like since 2020, and really, it's been a lot of fun. I like I like a lot of TCGs, like card playing games and all that kind of stuff. Recently, I've been getting into a lot of Lorcana and that kind of deal and that kind of stuff. So, not not much.
No, it's all right, Ashton. Don't worry about it. Um, so how did you decide on the game that you'd go pro on?
To be honest, it all happened in a dorm room when I was just playing Smash Bros with a bunch of my friends during that time, and there was talks about a Smash team being brought up in 2020, and I all I did was just play in dorm room with my buddies, and so we went to there, tried out. I think I tried out as Bowser at that point in time, and then I lost to one of the players that would become captain for a little bit. But I eventually got brought in, and I've went through so many different characters. I went from Bowser to Incineroar to Terry to Villager. I think Mega Man for a week, and now I just play Solid Snake, and I've only been playing him since then in
Oh,
terms of characters.
well, the little bit I do know about Smash Bros, I know that Snake was rather hard for me to play. Um, but then again, I was never very good at Smash Brothers. I'm gonna be honest with you. That game, doing all the attacks and stuff with the shields and whatnot is definitely very difficult. A lot of very precise timing in that. Um,
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah, like it's there's a lot of like different things you gotta like learn about the game, like your fundamentals and all that kind of stuff. But it really just comes down to you gotta find that character that just fits you. Like me, I bounced around between a dozen characters, and for me, Snake just felt like that right fit for me. Now, I did have to learn a lot of like grenade techs, and I'm still learning some new ones as I go along. But it, I, I run by the strategy of throw everything in the kitchen sink at the opponent.
Well,
Like,
I can imagine that strategy is definitely a very viable one. I forget which character in that game actually throws the kitchen sink.
um, I can't, I can't
Doesn't
remember.
Game and Watch?
Yeah, I think it is Game and Watch. Thank you.
Game and Watch is I got nothing against Game and Watch players, but the character, I got beef with that character, man. That's one of Snake's worst matchups.
Oh,
It's
really?
miserable. Yeah.
How so? How does that work?
So Snake's whole kit involves explosions, like mortar, grenade, Nikita, all that kind of stuff. Anything that blows up and has like a fire effect. Game and Watch has a bucket that can absorb all those explosions or reflect mortar. It can reflect projectiles too. And the amount of times I had to like cut my like tool kit in half because Game Watch is just gonna bucket every single explosion and then drop that bucket on my head.
Well, it sounds like that's definitely the bane of Snake's existence in that game.
Yeah.
So, what does it take to be a team captain, and what does it mean to you?
To me, when I first became captain, it was like last year. And it wasn't when I was captain of the Maroon team. I was captain of the Concord Smash Black team. So there was a little stint in time where we split up three different teams in I believe ECAC, and I was given a chance to show off my captaining skills. Never captained before, and we went undefeated until we went up against Concord Maroon because, and I like to say that Concord didn't lose; we only win.
Well, you definitely got to keep your rep up. So,
So
uh, keep winning.
that is that is true, and it's for me. I learned that like to be a captain, you kind of have to be like the biggest team player and all that. You can't like yell at your players. Obviously, you got to like figure out, hey, if they're struggling or they're not playing the best, you got to just set them aside and be, hey, what's going on? Is everything all right? And most of the time, like bad plays is not necessarily from lack of game knowledge or lack of like tech skills. Sometimes it's just a bad mental. Like I can't tell you how many times I've talked with a player in private, and they would like tell me some stuff they've been going through, and they just needed somebody to talk to, and their play and their skill, their like performance would go up after venting their frustrations, after like talking to me. Like I learned to be a captain is to you kind of have to have a heart, and like sure there's been times where I had to be like, okay guys, let's lock in. We're lollygagging a bit too much, we're messing around too much, we got to get serious. But like that comes with the territory, but like players respond well when you treat them well.
All right. Well, thank you for that answer. I mean, definitely, I would imagine having to focus yourself on the team. I mean, you can't carry a team ever by just soloing it out as it were. So, I'm sure your team very much appreciates the way you go about captaining and your captaining skills. Sorry. Um, so whenever it comes to being a captain, since we're on this topic, what is the focus for your crew?
My crew, it's we're always trying to seek self improvement and really test our metal against. some of the best players we can find, whether it be in the state or online, like, or grind it out in character chords, which are discords for our specific character that we play in Smash Bros. And really, it's a combination of all those three things. Like, iron sharpens iron, so to speak. Like, there's been times where in the past my own players would play up against me and it would not go great for them, and it would be tough for them. It would be grueling. But as time went on, I ended up having to try harder and harder because they kept picking up on my habits. They kept getting better. They kept cleaning up their bad options because they knew I was capitalizing off of it. And with information that they would see from their character chords on how to improve their plays with their characters, or maybe some like niche tech that character can use in a match to help them like succeed. It's a combination of various things. Like, we always try to, like, we're always on the grind, as we say. Like, I have like 3 or 4 players that basically don't leave the facility and get like 20 plus practice hours in a week
Wow.
when the minimum is 10.
I mean, hey, when you want to level up, you want to level up, I guess. I
True.
mean,
I make sure to also to tell them to prioritize having some breaks here and there, because I'll be seeing them, some of them, I'm not gonna name names, be playing for like 4 plus hours, and they're like, "Oh God, I'm so angry. This day is terrible." I'm like, "Take a break. You're
so
playing Smash Bros. No wonder your day feels terrible right now."
so I know as a pro gamer, one of the walls you might hit as some might say would be burnout on the game specifically, because you have to just constantly be putting in those hours and it's always the same game, and you might even feel like it's a full-time job just to play that game. And I know that can kind of ruin some of the fun that you initially had with the game. So how do you uh deal with that, and how do you encourage your players with dealing with that?
How I encourage my players to deal with burnout is, I've actually have talked to my team before about burnout, because last season we had a few players complaining about burnout within the first couple of weeks, and it would be the players that will be getting like 20 plus hours of practice in a week. And I'm like, no wonder you're burnt out. Like, dude, chill out a bit. I'm not asking you to get 50, 40 practice hours a week or 20. I just want you to get 10 at least. And how I personally deal with burnout is, I would kind of like make a joke, not really a joke, but like joking and all that. But I would say, like, I take my days off very seriously, and and that's why during Saturdays and Sundays, you be hard pressed to find me in the esports facility, unless like some of my gamers are down there and we're chilling out and just talking, not playing Smash Bros, just chilling out and hanging out. But when it's Saturday, Sunday, or even Friday evening, you're probably not going to see me there, because I'm taking that time so I don't get burnt out. Now, there's going to be exceptions, of course. If I'm going out of town for a tournament, then I'm going to be hyped for it. But
Right.
I always make sure to tell my players, like, "Hey, take a break. Your days off are your days off. Work on some classwork. Do what you need to do.
Right.
Don't like burn out on this game, especially early into the season." Like, I understand if it's like towards the end of the season, if you're burnt out, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, me too." But if it's like week 2 and you're like, "I'm burnt out," I'm just like, "Oh, come on." Like,
Right,
what,
right.
you're doing too much. Chill out. We're early in the season. Take a break.
All right. So, what is something that you find that you do differently than maybe some of the other team captains?
Um, I'm not sure. Like every team kind of has its own culture in a way.
Oh,
It
really?
like we're oh yeah, like we're all like very chill with each other. We're all amicable, but every team kind of has like its own energy. If that makes sense. And that's not
Absolutely.
to say anything that it's bad. I think it's actually really cool. And so what I might do for the Smash team might be different than what Jan, the Army of One, might do for his team, or uh, what the Overwatch captain would do for his team, or what Rocket League would do for their team. Like we all know our players, we all know how they react, and we all know how to handle them. So we all kind of like handle our own players in our own ways.
Okay. Well, that's definitely interesting. I wasn't really actually expecting there to be such a strong difference in how players interact between the different teams. So thank you for that enlightenment there. Uh, so just to kind of push forward here a little bit, what do you hope to achieve for yourself as a pro player, and what do you hope your team achieves this year?
We're going for gold. I'm tired of getting second place for the past couple of seasons. I'm telling, like, there was times I was talking to Austin about it. I was like, I'm losing my mind. This silver is not tasting great right now. Like like when we got bronze one time, it felt great because we won that. But anytime for the past couple of seasons, we've been getting silver, and sure, it's the better placement, it's better on paper, and all that kind of stuff. But you lose to get silver, you win to get gold, you
Right.
win to get bronze, and it's just we're going for gold this season, and this is like my last semester here before if all things go well, I go into the military and pass all the requirements for that. And once I get done with that, I'll probably come back for masters and get back into Smash Bros. But right now, this is kind of like the last semester. This is like my swan song, I guess. Like
Right.
this is where I want to get gold, and I know my team wants gold. So we're gonna try to get gold any way we can, and we're gonna do the best that we can.
Well, that's definitely a very admirable goal, and I wish the best to you. I really hope you get that gold and that you're able to make all your dreams, as it were, come true. And if you do make it into the military, thank you ahead of time. And so with that said, you had mentioned earlier that you were playing Smash Bros in your dorm room, and that's what got you into the game that you chose. So, what is it about the game or about gaming in general that inspired you to want to go pro?
I always seek to try to be better than what I am currently. Like there's been time. Don't get me wrong. There's some growing pains with that need to get better and that drive to get better. Because for a good while early on, when I got into the team, I was getting whooped daily. I was the punching bag for a good while, but I eventually rose to get better and persevered through all that. And I've always been like that growing up. A lot of arguments with my little brother and I when we were growing up playing video games competitively against each other. Never it went well, but I had that drive to always want to be better. And I didn't want to fall into like the whole like I'm the best gamer in my family. Well, yeah, your dad works all day long and doesn't play that much. Your little brother only knows how to play the game because of you, and you're not teaching them all your tricks and that whole deal. So I don't want to fall into the whole like stereotype of like, oh yeah, I'm good at video games. no one in my family can beat me, and then you go out and it turns out you're just a big fish in a small pond, and there's sharks in the ocean, and you're just like a little guppy to them.
Well, that's quite the analogy. I appreciate it actually. I know that there have been a number of games I personally have played, like I have Dragon Ball Fighters on my PC where I play with an arcade stick and stuff. I know I've hammered away at doing moves and learning the attacks and the counters and everything that goes into the game. So, with that said, with that preface, as far as Brothers goes, I don't have the greatest experience. So, to you, what do you find to be the hardest part of playing Smash Brothers? Like, what is the hardest things to learn?
I think the hardest thing, because there's a lot of things that are hard to learn. Like when it comes to tech, like with Snake, I would see pro players like constantly Z catch their grenades, and I do it from time to time, but I don't do it on the level that they do it, like such speed and repetition. And I think for some people, you kind of, when you're learning tech and you're learning mechanics, you're going to have to suck that ego up, and you're going to have to realize you're going to suck for a good bit before you get good with it. And I think that's like the biggest challenge is for some people is some people are afraid to learn new things because they're afraid of being bad at it.
And I don't think any of us like things that are necessarily too hard and take us out of our comfort zone either. So I can imagine that would definitely be the hardest part of playing um, any game, really. But with that said, let's flip the coin on that. And why don't you tell me your favorite part about Smash Brothers?
My favorite part, uh, God, I don't. I'm a huge people person, right? So the local scene in Smash Bros. Uh, it has its flaws, but it's working on trying to get better for the community and for like Smash Bros as a whole within West Virginia. And I love the kind of community it brings together. I love that it brings together like this camaraderie. And like one time I went to a tournament against a Snake player who played Snake a lot differently than I did. And we were both just kind of like nerding out after the match. Like he was like, "Did you know if you did this with Snake, like so and so will happen?" I was like, "I didn't know that. Did you know if you did this and that, it would do this?" And he was like, "I didn't know that." And it was like, but that's with like my personal experience with another Snake player. Is that there's two different ways you can really play him. There's many different ways, but yeah, I love the kind of community that it can bring together, and it's tends to be pretty good vibes for the most part.
Well, that's definitely a, a great part of playing games is how they do bring people together and definitely looking at like all the different techniques and everything people have developed and how different everybody plays is always a fun and unique experience. Um so with all that said, do you think that Smash Brothers is your all-time favorite game or do you have like an all-time favorite game aside from Smash Brothers?
Don't, don't get me wrong. I love playing Smash Bros. I love getting better at the game, but it's not my favorite game. No, Smash Bros. Has made me lose my mind quite a few times, but one game that hasn't made me lose my mind, and it brings me a sense of nostalgia. Really, is the Sly Cooper series. I love playing I love playing it growing up. It was always kind of like a comfort game to me.
I can't say I personally ever played Sly Cooper, but I do know it was coming out and kind of maybe even before the era of like Jack and Daxter, which is a game that I kind of played a little bit growing up. That I think runs along the same lines as Sly Cooper. Am I
Yeah,
right in that?
yeah. I did. and I went into a rabbit hole. There was apparently a mascot war with Sony for like the early 2000s. So there was Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, and I think some people said Crash Bandicoot for a good bit because they were just trying to get that mascot going during
Right.
that time period.
I know the mascot for PlayStation back in the day, whenever I was growing up, was definitely Crash Bandicoot. All the Crash Bandicoot games you could ever ask for, and then some. um, so what is your like? I know you want to win your next tournament, but what is the baseline goal that you hope to achieve, if not just to take gold?
That's kind of hard because I know there is more beyond getting gold and there's a certain level above. And I feel like to not only try to reach for that level, you not only have to become a better player, but I guess in a way to get like philosophical, you got to be a better you because there's a completely different mindset once you go above collegiate gold and you go into like legit pros. Like I like to think of myself as not really like a professional gamer. I'm kind of like semi professional because I am on a collegiate level, and that doesn't discredit me in any way in terms of my skill. But I feel like I'm like right here, and someone like Apollo Kage is like right there, and sure, me getting gold would probably like bump me up here, but there's still that gap of like learning new things and how to incorporate the things that I would learn. Like the things that Apollo Kage can do, like he's a pro snake player, is a lot more advanced than what I can do. And that would mean I would have to like I guess suck up my own ego and learn that I'm gonna be trash for a good bit before I can do the things that he can do. And like what I mentioned earlier is like sometimes you just gotta suck up that ego if you want to get better.
Uh, I definitely I can relate to that. How many times I've had my butt kicked in a video game, I just don't even know how to count that. Really, to be honest with you. So I want to thank you for your time today, and I want to ask you one final question, which is there anything else you'd like the viewers to know about Smash Brothers, yourself, or the Concord team as a whole?
I would not to brag or anything, but I think the Concord Esports is the best esports program to get into in West Virginia and one of the best probably in the East Coast. Like bit of a brag, maybe, I'm kind of like very like Concord Esports, like let's go, that kind of bring the passion kind of deal. But I really do feel like Concord Esports is one of the best programs to get into on the East Coast, and we're definitely the best esports program in West Virginia, without a doubt.
All right,
And whether,
go ahead. So I'm sorry.
oh, I'm sorry, because not only do we, we check on each other, like I said earlier, even though every team we are very friendly towards each other. We we all have our own like vibes, but we like talking to each other. We like interacting with each other, and so we have that community, and we always have each other's backs. And I know Austin, John, Nathan. Feels weird calling him Nathan and not Fuji. I know they have our backs. Like this program wants you to succeed and be better than who you are currently. And I've personally know that because they've dealt with me since I was here in 2020. I am not the same person I was back then that I am now.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're very happy with your growth, and there's nothing wrong with being biased towards your team. I mean, if I were on your team, I would say I was that my team was the best too. So don't fret. I know that you guys are definitely working on leveling up your game, and I really hope to see you guys take gold. And I want to thank you, Ashton, for your time today.
Thank you.
Uh,
Arissa's going for me. Help, 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 help.
Where
Help.
are you? What? Oh,
Thank you.
nice.
Oh my god!
Good.
Oh my
Get
god!
out of my game, please.
Oh, all right.
Alright, I'm gonna ult here, guys.
Oh,
Get
you're gonna ult
ready.
here? Okay, okay, save Blizzard then. Alright.
Oh, it's enormous. Wait.
Alright, they're trapped, get him, get him!
I'm getting Zarya.
now that we're back, why don't you start with telling our viewers your name, the game you play as a pro, and how you are today?
Hello all. My name is Dylan McDade. I am captain of the Overwatch team here at Concord Esports, and I'm doing great today. Happy to be here.
All right, thank you very much. And do you mind telling our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Well, like I said, my name is Dylan McDade. I play Overwatch. My hobbies consist of playing video games, reading, and such. I do play quite a few games outside of Overwatch. I'm a computer science major here at Concord as well. That's what I mostly specify in.
All right. Well, I know computer science is a lot of fun, so I hope you enjoy your time studying that.
Absolutely.
With that said, how do you how did you decide on what game you'd go pro on?
Well, I had been playing Overwatch for a good while. I sort of played it on and off since beta, but when I came to college, I was in a position where I was playing it a lot. I was just grinding tank in the lowest ranks, trying to improve myself. So I thought I'd sign up for the team because I didn't really do much on campus besides sit in my dorm. So it was a nice opportunity.
Well, that's a very modest undertaking to start as a pro. Um, so with that said, to you, what does being a team captain for Overwatch entail, and what does it mean to you?
Being a team captain for Overwatch means making sure my players are happy, making sure they are comfortable and enjoying the game. And as far as in-game responsibilities, I'm sort of the arbiter slash like referee as to what our strategies are, what we're doing, and how we'd like the game to go down. And to me, it's very important to me. I started here at a pretty low rank, and I'm happy to have this opportunity to serve as a captain.
All right, awesome. So what role do you play in Overwatch?
I play support, specifically flex support.
All right. And who's your main currently, or do you do like a flyby situational type pick?
I swap my character around quite a bit, but as far as a main, I'd say it's probably Ana. And close second is Baptiste, and then probably Kiriko.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I can't say I've played Overwatch much, so I don't know the characters all that well. But I'm working on it.
There's
um,
quite a few. It's quite an undertaking.
it is quite an undertaking, and I'm not very good with names to begin with, so remembering each of the champions in that and remembering all the names and abilities, I know is quite a bit. So as a team captain, how do you focus the needs for your team, and how do you typically go about uh, arbitrating roles and responsibilities during the game?
So typically, our players each have their own roles that they prefer to play. And as far as figuring out what we're doing, it's sort of analyzing the meta and determining what the popular picks are, and also overlaying that with the sort of comfort picks that my players enjoy playing, because that's very important that my players are actually enjoying and playing a character that they prefer. But yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, definitely. You always want to make sure that you're at least enjoying it a little bit, because as I discussed with Ashton, it's it, there's burnout involved, and that's usually quite hard to get over at times. So, how do you go about dealing with burnout for yourself and for your team?
Um, as far as burnout, I'd say hmm, it's not something. It is something that Overwatch players do experience rather often, and I'd say free time is extremely valuable, and you get a lot of it with esports. We only do about 2 hours of practice a day, but if burnout is extreme, I'll absolutely allow my players to take the day off and just focus on their responsibilities, because games can be exhausting, especially when you're playing them every day.
Yes, they definitely can be. I don't think a lot of people really realize the mental acrobats and stuff that you have to do, especially during a game like Overwatch, where you have to guard a spot, or then it's immediately switched over to an escort and the like. So I mean, as far as keeping mental flexibility goes, how do you get your players to remain flexible in their heads? And what are some of the tips or tricks that you use to do the same?
Keeping players flexible in their heads, I would say I always encourage my players to. I mean, I love the main roles that they play, and they're excellent at them, but play different characters. Always diversify your hero pool, because Overwatch is a game where adaptivity is something you have to have. And yeah, as far as keeping that up, I'd say just if you're sick of a character, play a new one. It's going to be a good time, and it's opportunity to learn a new hero is always beneficial.
With that said, I know that I mean, I personally, especially in those games, have a tendency to perhaps hyper focus on a specific champion or hero, simply because they're comfortable to me, but I may not be playing them the best. And so, for players looking to increase their level in Overwatch and games of the like Marvel Rivals or something, just because I happen to know it's popular at the time. Excuse me. How do you go to how do you refocus somebody once they've hit that hyper focus state? Do you just let them burn it out for the day, or do you pull them off to the side and just go, hey?
Um, I'd say hyper focusing on a hero is something that happens often. One tricking is an incredibly common thing in Overwatch. And often I find it that people aren't necessarily hyper focusing on a hero because they enjoy it, but they're doing it out of obligation because they think it's the only thing they can play. I encourage swapping because, even if you're hyper focused on one hero and you haven't played a lot of others, a lot of heroes in roles have similar responsibilities. So skills transfer between heroes rather easily, more easily than people think.
All right. Well, that's definitely something for any Overwatch players to keep in mind. With that said, just to kind of refocus my questions here a little bit, as a team captain, what is your focus for your crew?
So for my team right now, it is going to be adaptability, adaptation, basically, because oftentimes teams that we go up against will have one composition mastered to a T. Like it's just impenetrable. You can't do anything against it. And the key to that is adapting and finding a comp that goes up against that and exploits the weaknesses of the enemy comp. So just yeah, adaptability and adapting to any situation that might occur during a match.
Speaking of that same adaptability, I know that the updates that come with a game like Overwatch tend to really change the flow and the pace of the game. So, how is it that you and your players kind of keep up with those updates and kind of, I don't know if it's like a relearning habit that you have to do when some of these updates come out, when they when they nerf somebody super hard or whenever they buff somebody beyond belief. So how do you and your team deal with the constant flow of updates?
Um, it's obvious that's absolutely a thing that all Overwatch players have to deal with. Updates are very frequent, and I mean, just recently there was an update that changed the whole game completely. Basically, the heroes have perks now and all sorts of stuff. There's more depth customization. And I'd say with these updates, we don't necessarily dive in and try as many things as we can right off the start. I'd say just play the game how we have been playing and sort of just feel it out for whatever may be changed and however we might need to adapt, what's working, what's not.
Okay. And so does your team keep with the meta, or does the structure kind of go more freeform?
We try to play sort of, I guess you could say, meta adjacent. We try to take advantage of the heroes that are good in that moment, but since it's not necessarily the pro leagues where have to play meta absolutely. So we sort of lean towards comfort picks with meta in mind.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. What is something that you find that you do differently than the other team captains?
Hmm. Um, well, like Ashton said, there's a pretty unique culture around each team, and I'd say with Overwatch, it's unique because I'd say I don't want to step on any toes here, but it's probably the most team play focused game that we have. So I have to I focus so much on having my team operating as a unit, in game and out all the time.
So does that mean that uh, whenever it comes to shot calls, that you would say that you probably have to have the most flexible mind for that in Overwatch, because you have to analyze and adapt not only yourself, but you also have to refocus and adapt your team's strategy and what have you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. As far as shot calling, what I do as captain is more of the overarching team composition type, like big picture things for how the game goes. The person that does the most shot calling is my tank player, Caden, whose setup I'm sitting at right now because I don't have a webcam. But he does most of the shot calling just because of the role that he plays, I'd say.
Um, all right. Well, uh, how does his role differ to the point where he's the shot caller versus a support role or a DPS role?
So basically, the tank is more or less not responsible for keeping his team up or getting kills, but more responsible for controlling the flow of battle. You know, when you're going to engage, how you're going to control the enemy team and their movements, and what you would like to do once you're engaged. So it's best to have him with the shot calling responsibilities because he has the best idea in his mind of how the fight might go and what we need to do to win.
All right. Well, thank you. That's um, quite enlightening, I'm sure, not only for myself but for our viewers. Um, So again, to kind of refocus, just because Overwatch is so in depth, it's easy to want to pick apart the different parts of your role as team captain and how all that works. But to kind of refocus, what what do you hope to achieve for yourself, and what do you hope that you hope to achieve for your team?
Um, as far as like self-actualization, I really just want to improve at Overwatch. It's a fun game. I love playing it, and improvement is definitely felt when you play it. So that's my goal. And as far as the team, I know everybody would really just like to like not only win but go to a LAN event, to be able to travel, to be able to get these unique experiences.
Apps. Well, that's again quite a modest goal, and I'm sure it can be greatly appreciated by everybody who's watching. Uh, so, with that, what are some of the challenges you face as a team captain?
Um, as team captain, like you mentioned earlier, burnout's a big one because Overwatch is a very difficult game to play and to wrap your head around. And as a team captain, it's sort of because there's so many different ways that you can play Overwatch and so many different compositions that you might have to bring out. The hardest thing, absolutely, is trying to get players to play the way that the composition asks for, and to just get my players to generally adapt to new compositions and to play them to the effect that they should.
All right. Well, thank you for that response. It's um, quite quite a enlightened view on the challenges that you face as a team captain, and I can definitely see where a lot of that has to come into play. So with that said, what do you feel inspired you to go pro in this game?
Mm. Well, obviously, like a lot of other people, it was sort of just watching pro players and what they were able to accomplish. I was a huge fan of the Overwatch League when it was still a thing in Overwatch. I loved watching Overwatch League matches, San Francisco Shock, stuff like that. It's just fantastic.
Watching pros play on the streaming events that they have. I've watched the league final tournaments and everything, so I definitely understand how that could want you to or push you to go pro. I just unfortunately was never good enough. um, so we've discussed the hardest part of playing your game with needing adaptability and what have you. So, with that in mind, what would be your favorite part of playing Overwatch?
I mean, honestly, it's not even really. You'd expect it to be winning matches, but it's not even really that. I'd really enjoy like just enjoying time with my team, and especially like moments of improvement. Like when you can feel that there's tangible improvement and that you're playing something better than you ever have before, it's incredible.
It definitely is incredible. Again, I can kind of relate with the Dragon Ball Fighters. I put so many hours into playing Frieza,
Mm.
and every time you get that new combo set, just the hype you get from that is extraordinary. So, that's a very relatable part of playing to, I guess, any game. So I know I discussed earlier with Ashton that favorite game of all time. Would you say that Overwatch is your favorite game of all time, or
Um, I really do love playing Overwatch in a competitive capacity. It's probably not my favorite game of all time, though. I'd say my favorite game of all time is probably a toss up between Fallout New Vegas and Hollow Knight. If I'm being honest with myself, though, it's probably Hollow Knight.
I never quite got the opportunity to play Hollow Knight, but I've seen plenty of gameplay. It's
Mhm.
definitely a challenging and rewarding game, from what I can tell. And I mean, who doesn't like New Vegas, right?
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
So with that said, what is your hope for the next big tournament coming up?
Well, not only that we win, but that we improve as a team, and I guess that we go through this as a team together and are able to persevere and come out with the win.
Well, thank you so much for uh, the modesty in all your answers. I'm sure our viewers watching will really be able to relate to a lot of that. And thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything else you'd like our viewers to know about Overwatch, yourself, or Concord as a whole?
Well, as far as Concord Esports, this place is fantastic. It's completely changed my college experience and my outlook as far as, how fun college is going to be. It's been a complete game changer, and I appreciate all the members of this program. So, yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much for your time today.
Take it more, take it more.
Okay.
Carry your Ash.
Okay.
Oh, it's just those two. It's just those two. Bro. It's
I'm on my way, I'm on my way.
Oh
my
I
god.
gotta go!
Your name, the game you play as a pro, and how you are today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nathan. I go by the gamer tag Jan. I play Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 for Concord Esports. For Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, I zoned out for a second.
Don't worry about it. It's
I'll just restart.
You're good, Nathan. Not a problem. It was just what your name is, the game that you play as a pro, and how you are today.
Okay. My name is Nathan. My gamer tag is Jan. I play Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 for Concord Esports, and I'm doing lovely today.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Nathan, and thank you for joining us today. Could you tell our viewers a little about yourself?
Like I said, I play Street Fighter 6 and Tekken for Concord. I'm really into fitness. I'm majoring in athletic training, so I'm trying to beat the allegations that esports players cannot hit the gym. I'm trying my best every day. I'm just saying. I don't know if I'm making much progress, but I'm trying.
Progress is progress, regardless.
Exactly.
And you're looking pretty swole, so it's all good.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Not a problem. All right. So, how did you decide that you'd go pro on Street Fighter and Tekken?
If I can be totally honest, it was just like completely random. I didn't plan on it. I didn't think I was good enough to do it. One day when I was applying for college in 2023, and it's ironic because I didn't even know if I was going to go to college in the first place. They sent out an email to everyone. They were like, "Hey, we're doing walk-in tryouts for Street Fighter 6." And I was like, "Oh, cool, I'll play Street Fighter 6." And then I joined, and they were like, "Dude, you're like crazy at this game. You got to join the team." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, I guess I'm a part of an esports team now." Like, it really was just that simple. I really didn't think I was that good. It all started like, to give like a more in-depth answer though, I started first playing fighting games about 2021, late 2020-ish, around the pandemic starting. That's when I really got into them. I played a little bit of like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that back in 2015 to 2016. About a year or two, I played Mortal Kombat. And that was like the first rumblings, but I was never like too crazy at that game. I tried to get really good at it. That's a game I was not ever really able to breach into the, the pro stratosphere. But after, oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Continue.
I was going to say, I continued to like watch gameplay and stuff like that. So similarly to, the other players on the team, they saw pro players play the game and they were like, yo, this is like way crazy. Like, this was a 900 IQ play that this guy did. I never would have thought in a million years to do that. So I guess it played a small role in it, but I would say a big role was just like me and my friends would just play fighting games. And I was like, dude, you are a scrub. You are never beating me at this game ever again. And I just got crazy at the game. And none of my friends can beat me in fighting games anymore. So they don't want to play me. So that's the double-edged sword.
Whenever I was growing up and going to college, I played a lot of Street Fighter 4 because that's when that came out. And I remember we used to do game parties and stuff where we would hang out and we just work on our skills in the fighting games and everything. And out of all my friends back then, I was like the last one to pick up fighting games, so I was obviously just the worst, and that just never quite changed for me. Getting getting the invincibility frames down in Street Fighter and getting the fluid combinations and switching from dragon punch to quarter circle to charge, all that, it was just a lot for me, and the people I was playing around were just they knew all the ins and outs of that. So I mean I actually learned quite a bit about Street Fighter back in the day, and I know that the mechanics for it really haven't changed, but I haven't played I haven't played Street Fighter since Street Fighter 4. So with that said, I don't really know any of the new fighters that you can play or anything. But would you mind telling our viewers who you main and how you came to maining that person?
Yeah, so when I first started playing Street Fighter 6, I played Cammy, but as the time went on, or as time went on, me and my coach John, we were talking about it. There was a character called JP who was new to Street Fighter 6. He's a zoner, and he kind of covers Cammy's like bad matchups. I put quotations because she's like ridiculously broken, but we picked him up. So I kind of dual mained Cammy and JP for a while, but after the first couple DLC characters came out, there was Rashid, who I didn't want to play, Aki, who I didn't want to play, and then the third one though, Ed, who is a character that was introduced in Street Fighter 5. I started playing him. So I play Ed and I play JP in Street Fighter 6.
All right. So for you, especially with it being Street Fighter, I can imagine being a team captain is maybe similar to Smash Brothers, but probably entirely different, uh, especially from Overwatch. So, as a team captain, what does it take to be a team captain for Street Fighter, and what does it mean to you?
It's a bit ironic because we've had these long, heartfelt discussions about like team composition and stuff like that. But not only is Street Fighter 6 a one-on-one game, but I'm also the only player on the Street Fighter 6 team. So being a team captain is really easy for me because I check in on the players and I'm like, hey, yeah, I look into a mirror, right? Just imagine this is a mirror. I'm like, hey, are you doing good today? Yeah, you're doing good today. All right, team meeting over. It's really that easy, I swear.
Well, that's definitely a unique way to be a team captain for a game. So are you looking to add more people to the Street Fighter roster as far as, you know, I guess team wouldn't really be the right word at this point, but as being the captain of Street Fighter, are you looking for a team, and how would you maybe what are some of the things you might implement as a team captain whenever you do acquire more players to join you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I'm definitely interested in getting some like new Street Fighter or Tekken players, just more like fighting game players because I'm not gonna say Smash isn't a fighting game. It's a little contentious, but like Street Fighter and Tekken, these are like the main staples, like the titans of like fighting games. This is like what people consider to be like the fighting games nowadays. So I'd like it to be more represented at Concord. I would love to teach people how to play the game. We actually tried out. It was 1 or 2 players we've tried out. They chose not to join or whatever. All good. If a new player joined, it would be interesting because as a captain, I wouldn't see it as necessary for like Street Fighter or Tekken that we really do anything crazy different. Like honestly, I would just check in on the team members. I'd be like, "Yo, are you having trouble with like a character, like trying to fight a character? Do you need some more advice with your character? That kind of thing." And as far as practice goes, as long as they're getting their 10 hours in every week, I really wouldn't do anything crazy because everyone in fighting games learns fighting games differently. I'm a player that plays very defensively, so I have better defense than a lot of people would. But if someone focuses more on offense, let's say they play like a super rush down character, they would be more proficient in offense, maybe weaker in defense. So we could cover each other's weaknesses. Maybe my offense would be weaker than theirs, and my defense would be stronger than theirs. So we could sharpen both of our swords at the same time. But since it's not a team game, we wouldn't need to practice together. I could be practicing for 5 hours at a certain time. Not saying you should practice 5 hours in one day, but let's say I do an hour here. My team member comes in an hour later and I'm not there anymore. That's really not a problem as far as fighting games go. As long as you get the 10 hours in that's required for Concord, then that would be honestly totally fine.
All right. Well, since you do kind of lack a team and you are a team of one and you have the solo leveling experience, as it were, I only mention it because I see you're up behind you on your wall.
Yeah, it's very, very, it stands out. All right.
Yeah. No, hey, I'm a big anime fan too, so don't worry about it at all. What are some of the things that you find that you lack compared to maybe some of the top tier professional players? And what are some techniques you use to overcome those humps, as you don't really have anyone else to bounce off of?
I mean, I could sit here all day and tell you like something I lack in comparison to a pro player, like at the top level. There's a lot of things that go into Street Fighter 6. There's the drive system, there's neutral, there's combo routing, there's tons of decisions to make at any point in the game. So the thing I think I lack in comparison to the pros is it's ironic because I said I'm better in defense, but compared to like the top players, my defense is like not as good as the top players. And defense in this game is important because the way Street Fighter 6 is balanced, if you're in the corner, man, you ain't got many ways to get out. So you have to deal with like the limited tools you have to get out because offense is way stronger than defense. So it's all the more important to have like the strongest defense in the world. That's why if you watch like Japanese players, they've always historically been way better than American players and like European players in defense. That's why they have always been like the pinnacle of fighting games. And if it's not Japan, in Tekken's case, it's Korea. So if I had to choose like one thing I need to work on more, it's just defense as a whole in Street Fighter 6. And the way I need to work on that, really the only way to work on it in Street Fighter 6, in my opinion, obviously there's something called replay takeover, which is where after you finish a game online or even offline now, you can go into the replay, take over the controls in the replay, and find direct solutions to what your opponent was doing. So that's like number one thing you should probably be doing. If you lose to someone and it made you angry, it made you sad, whatever, you can either take a break and then go to the replay or just go right into the replay. That is number one thing you need to do. Number two, just play the game. That's the thing people don't get. A lot of newer players, they'll lose a game and they'll be like, yo, this game sucks, I'm just going to quit. That is the dividing point between a good player and a bad player. If you do not put in the time and accept that you're going to lose, then you will stay bad at the game. That is just pure simple how every single competitive game on the planet works. But If you lose, take those losses, take those experiences, then you can become a better player.
Yeah, I definitely know that perseverance, especially in game like Street Fighter, is important. I remember back in college, there was one time I fought my friend who was playing Ryu, and I was playing what's his name? He does Muay Thai. He does like the Jaguar strike. Do you know who I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah.
I can't put a name to it, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He was my go-to. And I remember one day I sat down and I lost 100 matches literally before I won one.
Yep.
And so I mean, I definitely understand that perseverance in games like Street Fighter and Tekken are probably some of the highest keys for getting better, and it's definitely always a challenge and a struggle, um, especially whenever you feel like, oh, I just got this combo down, and then you just get manhandled in your next match, and it's like, oh, dude, come on. I felt like I got
Mhm.
so much better, and so I can imagine that struggle is pretty hard, and I know it burns people out rather fast. And with that said, how do you personally deal with burnout?
Burnout is definitely a hard thing to deal with in Street Fighter because it is so easy to get burnt out because each game in Street Fighter is like, I don't know, at tops 5 minutes. If you're lucky, it'll be 5 minutes. It averages around 2 or 3. So you're playing. You could easily, honestly, put in like 100 or more games in a day. If you play a lot, you could play 100 matches in a row, which is like 50 ranked sets in a day. So you could get burnt out really fast. Like in a 2 hour session, which is what I do, about 2 hours or 2.5 hours per session, you could play, I mean, not including load times, at least like 20 or 30 sets. So burnout's definitely tough. When I play games, I usually take after every few sets or so, I just take a breather. I get up, start moving my legs, start stretching or whatever I got to do, and then I get back to it. So burnout in that regard, from session to session, that's how I deal with it. Not how you should, but that's how I deal with it. Long-term burnout is kind of tough. Some days you really just don't want to play. So if it's a day like I'm really just not feeling it, like I don't think I can go through with playing the game at like a competitive level, I'll do what I said before, like I'll watch replays because Street Fighter 6 has a very good replay system. So instead of having to like use the mental or tax my mental playing the game itself, I can watch back my replays, and that's less taxing because I can easily point out like, oh, this is what I should have done here. Because in the heat of the moment, you're not going to notice, even if you're at your A game. So that's like the best way to navigate burnout. And if you need to take a day off, take a day off. I have a hard cutoff, like Ashton. I'm not playing on the weekends. Never doing that. And once I hit my 2 hour or 2.5 hour mark for the day, I'm done. Even if I feel like I'm on a good session, I'm done because I've done that way too many times with games where I played a lot. I'll put in 20 hours a week or something like that, and then I'm like, yo, I'm never playing this game again. And that's happened to me on a lot of other fighting games that I didn't get to pro level with or competitive level. Just don't overplay. I know it's like technically your job, you're getting sponsored to do this and all that, but if you burn yourself out, you don't put in the results, then it's worse. It does worse for you than good in the long run. So definitely pace yourself accordingly.
I definitely can relate. I can think of many times whenever I was playing Street Fighter 4 or Injustice or Dragon Ball Z Fighters where I hit that burnout wall, and you think maybe, oh, hey, if I can just get this last good set in, I'll be able to end on a good note for the day and I'll be happy. And then that good set just never comes, and you end up pushing that burnout like so much further than it really needed to go. And it kind of falls back onto hyper focusing on one thing or another. So how do you find you dodge your hyper focus moments, because you don't really have anyone other than Austin, I would imagine, to pull you back and be like, hey man, just take a breather, maybe change up some of your tactics, watch out for the crossovers, uh things like that. So how do you go about tackling that issue?
It is tough because if there's having no one to like really, well, not no one, but having like no one that plays the game like at a top level to kind of be there, like guide you, it definitely can be tough. That's one of the main struggles that I think is unique to my position on Concord Esports. To my knowledge, I believe I'm the only person on the team that has one player, and I'm doing that for Tekken and Street Fighter, so I kind of made it worse for myself this semester, I'm not gonna lie. But that's one of them challenges that I'm not really too fussed about. When it comes to Tekken, if I'm playing ranked, I get a promotion or a demotion, I quit. I quit ranked for the day. That is one way I don't, because ranked is so volatile in that game. If you go crazy, if you get demoted, you're instantly going to start playing worse. That's what I've noticed. If you get a demotion, and I feel like this is most games, honestly, if you demote, your mental's like, man, I'm a worse player than I was 5 minutes ago. I could have not played the game today, and I would have been a higher rank than I was today. I feel like that's a ranked anxiety that a lot of people take. And this applies to Street Fighter too. Let's say that Street Fighter has an elo system. You start out at 1500. A lot of people are scared to keep playing ranked. Once they hit master rank, which I'm in, they're scared to go below 1500. They're like, well, what's the point of playing ranked if I'm going to go below 1500? But you kind of have to have this disconnect between the artificial number on your screen and your results in your mind. It's really hard to differentiate your results from the stat that is on your screen every single time you finish a match. That bar goes up, it goes down. I just ignore it. Don't even look at it. And it's a little ironic because I said, oh, if I rank up or if I rank down on tech and I quit for the day. It's like, it depends on person to person, game to game. But I've noticed it for Street Fighter, if I lose like 2, 3, 4 sets in a row, I'm like, yo, this is not going good. Let's take a step back. Let's like really think about what I'm doing wrong. And then that goes into the takeover system, stuff like that. So it's not something I've struggled with for a while. Honestly, like since I came to Concord, it's something I actually did struggle with when I first came here. I would be like, dang man, like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. But now, like if I lose a game, like I actually lost my last Street Fighter 6 match. I'm not afraid to admit that. I was like, yo, that was a really good match. I know exactly what I did wrong. I know exactly what my opponent did wrong, and I didn't get discouraged. So I haven't felt like discouragement with fighting games in a while, actually, because I have like such a healthier mindset with it. So I feel like having a healthy mindset has helped me a lot in that regard.
I imagine the exercise and stuff definitely helps keep that mental state as well. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad to know that you don't overly hyper focus on those things, because it's good for our viewers to understand that ranking up and ranking down is great and terrible all at the same time, but they're just numbers, and what you really need to work on is your individual skill cap and making sure that you kind of rise above that. So thank you for those answers. Now we've gone over some of the challenges and whatnot that you face. What is it that you hope to achieve for yourself and for your end of the Concord team this year?
For myself, honestly, like I don't have any crazy like major goals, honestly. Really, all I want to do, actually no, I do have a goal. I want to get past like top I don't know exactly what it is, but I want to get further than I have in the playoffs the previous seasons, because I've had this like curse. I feel like it's a curse, and it's really starting to get to me. I'm like, man, if I get this same position again, because it's a high position. Like it's not like I'm performing bad, but it's like, yo, I've been in this position before. I'm gonna get further this semester, whether it kills me or not. Like I'm gonna get past that death bracket that I need to get past. That is my main goal. The goal for the program itself, I don't have any like strong opinions on like the program itself. Honestly, when it comes to like the program itself, I want us to just keep doing what we're doing. I think we're in a really good position. We can always do better, of course, but for my personal opinion, I think we're doing pretty good so far. So hopefully we can just keep doing what we're doing.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And with that said, was there any particular moment in time when you were doing these things that really inspired you to want to go pro?
The only thing I could say that like made me really contemplate being a pro player, there was a time I was playing another smaller anime game. It's called Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, which is related to that shelf up there. That game was the first time I like got into the competitive scene of fighting games and stuff like that. There was this one player from Japan I saw play in the arcade era. His name was Shiki, and he was like so unbelievably good at that game that like it actually felt like he was cheating. Like obviously he wasn't cheating, but it was like it's just got like a robot, and I was like, yo, humans can do like really insane things with these video games. I'm like, this guy is like reacting to 20 frame, which is like 1/3 of a second moves with ease, like it's nothing. He's pulling out the most insane combos I've never seen in my entire life. And I was like, dude, if he can do that on this game, you can do it like on any game. So I was like, yeah, let's play that game. That led into Street Fighter. All my skills from that game carried over to Street Fighter. And then I was like, dang, like I'm so much better at this game than I even realized. And then I came to Concord, did the walk-on tryouts, and I was like, yo, I can like really do this. So I kind of just did it. So yeah, that game was like the first thing that kind of got me into the pro scene. And that player Shiki, man, shout out to Shiki if he's somehow watching this. That guy is freaking insane.
You know, I've seen some of Shiki's gameplay, and I mean, Persona 4 was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I remember whenever it came out and how much fun it was. I mean, uh I have a lot of fighting games. I mean I have I don't know how you play. Do you play on controller, or do you use arcade stick, or how do you go about your gameplay?
For Street Fighter 6, I use a normal pad. I just use like a DualSense. For Tekken, I use a hitbox, a leverless controller. I have it over there, but I don't want to go get it unless you want me to show it.
Not unless you want to. That's fine. I'd show you, but I play all my fighting games with an arcade stick. So I play it like I'm like back in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know. I always that's what I got started off on, and I just kind of always stuck with it unless I need to play on a gamepad. I can't say I've ever played with a hitbox before, but you know, that might be a unique way to experience fighting games for myself. Um, so with all that, what is the hardest part of really playing Street Fighter and Tekken at the high levels like you were playing?
The hardest part is like for Tekken, honestly, I mean, Tekken is just like an impossible game. I mean, each character has 100+ moves. There's dozens of characters in the game, and unlike Street Fighter, you actually have to learn how to play on every single stage in the game because that game is a 3D game. The stage layouts are different. So for Tekken in particular, it's like a broad answer, but it's just knowledge. It really is. Like, there's no one particular answer. It's just you have to know so much about that game because one person could play like very defensive, solid, and then one person that played King from the 80s with his buddies drinking beer in the bar, he could pull out moves that you ain't seen since the 90s. I mean, you have to know how to deal with that playstyle and this playstyle. It's like impossible. So that has been really tough, and I've only been playing Tekken for not that long, so I've been struggling with that. That's something I've definitely been struggling with. In Street Fighter 6, the thing I've struggled with the most in that game is the system mechanics. The system mechanics in that game determine everything. You have the drive system, throw loops. If your character doesn't have a throw loop or a good throw loop, that is a disadvantage. If your character is drive meter hungry, that's a disadvantage. So you have to manage your meter. You have to manage how much damage you can deal to their meter. You have to manage how you get your meter back. It is very stressful. And if your meter depletes to 0, you probably lost the whole game. So that is very stressful, and it's definitely the hardest part of Street Fighter 6 by far.
So you go from just broad knowledge of a game, because again, I mean Tekken. I remember when it first came out on PlayStation. So I mean, I remember Tekken pretty well. And I mean, you're talking about how a lot of those moves are still consistent with the moves in the game today. That is a massive pool of knowledge you have to cover and everything. And to go from that to the strong technical side of Street Fighter, that's got to be pretty difficult bouncing between the two, no?
Oh yeah, it's definitely harder than I thought it would be, but I feel like I'm more proficient in Street Fighter 6 right now. Like I don't feel like I need to work on as much as I do in Tekken 8. So I've been doing like a 60-40 kind of split. So I think I found a pretty good balance. And actually what helps a lot, I'm not going to lie, playing on 2 different controllers actually helps with it, because my muscle memory is never going to be an issue. Like my muscle memory of playing on a leverless is never going to accidentally kick in playing a pad. Now you might think mentally like, oh wait, I'm going to do something from this game similarly to Street Fighter 6. Not really. I mean, those games play so differently that, I mean, it's really easy to differentiate the two, actually. It's just learning both of them is the hard part. That's the main thing.
I can probably agree with that assessment, as
Yeah.
I mean, I have a good knowledge of both of them. So they definitely do play on a wide variety of style. There's nothing similar about the two.
hmm
So with that said, what is your favorite part of playing Street Fighter or Tekken?
My favorite part of playing fighting games just in general is when I play with either, it doesn't have to necessarily be a friend, but like a friend or like a really good player, and the matches are really close. Like I said, the Street Fighter 6 last match I played for the season, it was such a good match. Like I think it was 4 to his favor, but the matches were going to like almost the timer. We were both like adapting to each other's game plan and adapting to each other's like play styles in that short of like a time span, like first to 4, best of 7. You really don't have much time to adapt. So actually making those adjustments and, seeing the push and shove of the matches, like one match or one round he'll win, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to let you do that again. I'll call that out. I win the round, and then it's the final round. You're both on like a pixel of health, and you like clutch up, or it's just some sort of crazy interaction happens. That kind of like push and shove of fighting games is why I think it's the best genre of competitive games to me. I love it so much because there's no variables that can get between you and the player that you're fighting against. It's one on one. Nothing gets in the way. You can't get third party by another team like Fortnite. You can't get like there's nothing like that can possibly happen in a fighting game. The worst that can happen is the game spontaneously combusts somehow, like your PlayStation explodes. That's the only thing that could really happen to really put a dent in the game. So yeah, that's by far my favorite part of playing like Street Fighter, Tekken, having a really good match and knowing there's no excuse for you losing. It's like you lost on your own merit. The other player got the better hand. You either take that and accept it and get better, or you just take the L and just, I mean, don't get better, I guess, right?
That is always an option. And pinning skill to skill is quite exhilarating. So I can definitely see why that's your favorite part of playing those games. While we're speaking of favorites, though, what is your favorite game of all time?
See, this is very ironic because you would think with my shelf back here it would be like Persona, right? No, it's not actually. My favorite game of all time is Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty. That's always been my favorite. I've grown up playing it, and all I'm saying is, not to get political, but that game has stayed relevant and it has survived the test of time. That's all I will say.
Well, the best made games usually do.
Hmm.
Kind of like the best made books.
Yeah, facts.
So what is your hope for your next big tournament?
My next big tournament, no particular like big goal. Obviously, I want to win, but more so than even win, I just want to perform my best. Really, I know that's kind of vague. It's like, oh well, performing your best would be winning, right? Not necessarily. Some days you can, if you lose, but you played your best, it's kind of like it's kind of hard to explain how that feels, but
You can walk
it's
away without a chip on your shoulder.
yeah, because it's like okay, like I said earlier, like the other player just like they beat me fair and square. I have to hold that. I have to get better at the game. Some days you'll just some days fighting games you just won't play your best, man. Your reactions won't be on point. Maybe you won't react to that drive impact in the corner, which is, I mean, I'm sure everybody's been there. I mean, drive impact is such a interesting mechanic. I'll say that. So if you don't react to that, you could lose to somebody who you think is worse than you, or maybe they are worse than you, but you weren't ready that day. That's the kind of thing I want to avoid at all costs. So honestly, main goal, just play my best at every single tournament I go to.
That's a good way to go about it anyway. In any competition, you just do what you can, do the best to your ability, and just walk away with everything on the field, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you for your time today, and I have one final question, which is there anything you'd like the viewers to know about yourself, about the game, or about Concord in general?
Um, I'll give some insight on the Concord. I will say back in like 2023 or so, I wasn't too sure how I would go about college. I mean, it was definitely like kind of weird because really, I it was crazy. Like I applied to college like I don't know, it was like 3 weeks before the semester started. I was like, yo, I do not know if I'm gonna get accepted. It was kind of like a hectic thing, but I feel like the Concord Esports program kind of helped me like get into the groove of everything. Like it kind of motivated me to want to be like, yo, like college is kind of something that I can enjoy because I grew up with the mindset of like yo, college, I don't know about that. Like, I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think that's for me. Took a gap year. I was like, yo, working at like these places I don't want to work at, that's not for me either. So I was like, all right, time to try something different. Let's put my pride aside. Let's go to Concord. Ended up on the esports team, and I feel like the esports team has really like opened my eyes onto how like enjoyable college can be. Actually, a lot of my friends they don't enjoy college, and I'm like, yo, like I actually have a good bit of fun going to college. Like I don't hate it like I thought I would. It's been a very eye-opening experience, honestly, coming here. So if you don't end up going to Concord, because I'm not going to try to say you have to go to Concord for an esports program, if your college you want to go to has an esports program or you have a choice to go to an esports program, I really think you should consider it. I think it's something very beneficial to you mentally. That most colleges I've seen with esports programs are very helpful, understanding. Like Austin, John, Fuji, Justin, when he still worked at the program, they all helped me so much. They were very selfless, and I really appreciate everything they've done for both myself and the program. So, long story short, I definitely recommend going into an esports program if you are able to do so.
All right. Well, thank you again, Nathan. I truly appreciate it. I want to thank you all one more time for your time today and for taking the time out to allow our viewers to get to know you, get to know what it entails to do what you do, and just thank you for showing up. And I hope that you each had fun. You all did great, and thank you.
No problem.
Is there anything anyone else would like to add, or perhaps you have a question for me? Uh, I'll go ahead and give up this time to kind of do that now.
I think I'm good at least.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well then, let's move over to our session today, which is going to be with Fortnite. Again, none of these players are Fortnite pro players. We're just doing this for fun to demonstrate captaining techniques and how a team functions at a higher level. Again, none of these players even are on the same team as far as the game goes, but it should be good fun for all of you. So I hope you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the gameplay. So let's ready up.
Oh yeah.
All right. There we go.
I'm ready to.
You can see who's never played Fortnite before.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can tell by my lack of skin how much experience I have.
It's all good. It's just a shooter. Nothing to worry about. That's why I took the build out of it, because I just can't stand the building. My nephew is phenomenal at the whole Fortnite thing, and I don't know how he does it.
Mm-hmm.
He just channels through all them building things so quickly. It's I don't know. It's crazy.
Man, when we were working the summer camp, there was these two kids that came. They were like pro level players. They were like freaking 16 or 15 or something like that, winning Fortnite cups. I was like, dude, are you for real? Like, oh my goodness. And then we did like a... Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, making sure.
Oh, here, I can stream this too while I'm at it. So, okay, he had to leave. That's fine. All right.
Me and Jan got the Metal Gear skins on. We're ready for this.
Yeah, that's why I put on the Raiden skin.
I got my favorite skin out of all the skins ever released in this game on. Because who doesn't love Batman?
I mean, this game has something for everyone, man. Oh my goodness, I haven't played on this map. Does anybody know where we should drop?
Builds or no builds?
Are you guys loaded yet? I'm still
This
waiting.
is zero build, and I'm still
Yeah.
actually stuck in load screen, but that's because I'm recording and all that, so I might be a
All right.
second.
Well, just to make sure everybody can land, we'll go over here then. Just so when they load in, they can come here.
Just land wherever. I'm good. Alright, so we're... Alright, jumping out there. Alright.
This must be a new place for the new season, because I do not know what this place is.
I haven't played at all this season, so I honestly don't know. I re-downloaded the game just exclusively for the chance to do this with y'all, and I thought it would be a fun way to kind of de-escalate from the interview. You know, help relax.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, there's another squad coming here. They're landing
Oh, we got them.
more on the west side. Alright.
Let's see.
Alright, I'm coming in really late because I loaded left.
Oh, you're good. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, nice.
Already got somebody.
Heck yeah.
This is just a hand cannon.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, I got someone.
Nope. That should be fun. Let's see what this does.
We're getting them
Gotta
yawn.
find a gun.
Oh yeah, we got this, dude. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys do that killing. I gotta find a weapon.
I limbed somebody. There's 2.
Nice.
I just realized I need shield.
Yep, me too. I got some shield over here,
That's
actually.
important.
I got me a little bit of shield.
There's some
I found a
shields
shotgun.
right there.
All right, thank you.
I got a fun plasma cannon. So, should be...
What's a pulse scanner?
It scans the battlefield a little bit.
Oh, so it's okay. That makes sense. You can throw it in like a building, and it'll like where the enemies are then, or like the NPCs or whatever.
I'm probably gonna keep that then, just
yeah,
in case.
it'll outline players and whatnot.
That could be good for like early
got a
game
shield.
stuff.
I'm Oh, I don't have enough to hire you. That's sad.
Searching a safe.
There's some shields.
No, Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat gloves. Heck yeah. Let's see what those do.
They probably just like slow people's movement down, if I had to guess.
Nope, gives me Mortal Kombat moves.
Dang, Mortal Kombat moves shouldn't be allowed in this game. You're going to tear somebody's head off? Shoot.
I don't know.
I'm just thinking, who's the madman that arrested Sub-Zero to put him in the lineup?
Now you probably have like Sub-Zero's like ice ball.
Got his slide. Oh, I got some shield over here. There it is. There's my clicker. I haven't played this game in a minute. I'm not seeing nobody else.
Yeah, we got the people that came here. We're also in the circle, so this ain't too bad.
No, definitely not.
I'm definitely gonna need some more AR ammo if I can find any. Ooh.
Have at it.
Cool.
Oh.
Striker burst.
Chug Jug. Oh my god. Wait, Chug Jug or Shockwaves? Oh yeah, Shockwaves for sure.
Heading over to Canyon Crossing. Wait, what's these little blue guys? Who's shooting at me?
I got feet.
I'm glad you got feet, man.
No, I mean, I got movement.
I know.
Don't
Oh, I'm
do
not gonna lie,
shit.
this
Shoot
looks
at me.
Ha ha! I win.
He's about to get the business. There we go.
Oh,
There's an limb.
need to reload.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry,
Is
Bender.
everything all right?
But this
down there?
ain't your day.
Oh, that's not what I thought it was. Okay. Alright. Get everybody?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Keep up the good work, guys. I'll get a kill
Oh,
one day. Oh
I hear some snaps.
I got him.
Alright.
my gosh.
Are you gonna take that purple there, or can I have it?
Nah, you can have it.
Alright. Ooh, and a sniper rifle. Gimme, gimme, gimme.
I'm gonna take this jump pad up here.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Good luck.
I was just minding my own business, trying to get some shield.
That's usually how it goes. Who needs shield? I have a 50.
I got 6 minis.
Okay, so if you pick up the little blue guys and you just throw them on the ground, they heal. Like, they give you shield.
I think they also do heals. If you have like no shield and you're missing health. Ooh, something good over here.
Oh yeah, see they do that. Had to test for science.
For science.
Oh yeah.
Oh heck yeah, I got a gold sniper rifle. Let's go.
Hey, I also got a gold sniper. Question is, will I be able to hit anything? Maybe.
Sure.
Big maybe.
Ooh, wait, Chug Jug.
My two
What
favorite.
the?
Pulse scanner. We can.
Surely we'll be able to hit our shots, Jan. We are kind of playing super soldiers.
I mean, you would think, right? Oh wow, that goes far actually.
Yeah, I got another one right here too.
What? There's a battle battle pass? There's a baseball bat. The kneecapper.
the base. I think I saw a
That's
clip of
actually
someone
worth- oh, what do I
campaigning
do
the
with
car
this
that they
thing?
were on with the baseball bat and just flew.
Oh wow. Huh.
Oh, very nice. All right, let's see here.
What the hell is down here?
Plasma burst laser? What is going on in this game? Oh, okay.
A lot of stuff. Fortnite always has like so much stuff going on.
Yeah, true.
Gold
It's evident.
splash, whatever that means. I think I see the baseball bat you guys were talking about.
All right, you guys ready to push in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, a treasure map.
Okay, so if you charge it, it does like a big swing, but if you use the regular one, everyone's tough until Solid Snake pulls up with a bat.
Wait, there's
Oh, it
somebody
gives you
here.
a movement boost too.
It's Goku, I think.
Oh yeah, it sure is.
Goku ain't ready for the bat.
Oh, I hit Goku for like 100.
One. Oh god.
Where they at?
In this tunnel here.
Okay.
Got one.
He's one shot. I got him.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, I actually am hitting shots.
What is that guy wearing?
He's just hit him with a bat. Okay, buddy.
We got him. That was
You're not that
saucy.
guy, pal. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy. Not that guy, pal.
Oh, hey, that gold circle on the map right now is rare chest.
Oh. Oh, there's a guy here.
Yo, I'm actually hitting shots. Let's go.
Nice.
All right, all right.
Oh, you know what? I don't even need to question it.
Pulse scanner.
Yo, another gold sniper.
Oh, there's a zipline here that goes back up to the surface. Oh, there's somebody here.
Who's shooting at us?
Coming.
I got him.
Where are they
Don't
shooting
worry.
from?
Oh god, there's another person. It's Mrs. Incredible.
I forgot she was in this.
Not for long. She gone.
Yeah, she kind of got decimated.
Oh, sniper.
You
I doubt that I'll be
guys
able to do
are
anything with that.
Slaying.
Are we just murking people in this lobby?
Yes.
We currently got 15 kills, so gotta be doing something right.
Oh, I'm gonna set up that dust bunny right there.
Whoa.
He went out to the water. Purple kneecapper. Alright, here.
Oh yeah. How funny would it be
I
if you
dropped
also
that.
had the bat and we just jumped somebody?
You know what? I like the sound of that. I'm gonna get it.
That's
Hold up.
Two Metal Gear characters with a baseball bat.
I'm gonna get rid of this porta cover. All right, bet. Let's do it.
We gotta jump somebody with the bats.
Oh, you run faster with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is worth having then for sure. This might be meta.
I'm not gonna be surprised if we see the Fortnite team run the Bat or Sub-Zero's like abilities.
My God, is there anything more
Y'all are
intimidating than
headed
Solid
to
Snake than
the.
that?
Y'all are headed to the edge. Just so you.
Oh yeah, you're right.
keep up.
This would be even better if I was wearing the Power Armor skin and I'm just like running around with a bat. Reminds me of Fallout 4.
Oh, another one?
Yeah, this one's low on charge.
Oh wait, another bat? Oh my God.
Oh, and it lets you run for longer. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be meta, I think.
I hear shooting. Or am I just tripping?
Oh crap! Oh, them trains have guns.
Oh, they on the train?
Don't know. The trains have guns. I'm just.
Oh,
Trains do have guns.
I'm just leaving that train alone.
Man,
I
I
never
hate it
had
when
those
trains
before.
have guns.
I wasn't expecting resistance. It just kind of threw me for a loop there.
yeah. Screw those trains, man.
Got another plasma
my-
burst.
You should
laser.
have a guy in the car coming at us. We got a guy in the car coming at us.
Oh, there's two cars actually. Oh my God.
God. Guys, this is scary. Holy. I'm taking cover.
Ejected. Ejected and rejected.
No, there's another car coming.
Oh, I'm down.
Oh, there's a guy 1 HP under
Oh,
there.
I'm down, I'm down. There's only one left. There's only one left.
Yep. They only got the one guy.
Where'd he go?
There's a guy in a car somewhere.
I don't know. I'll get y'all. Just stay right there. I'm trying to find this last guy.
Here,
He's
you
above
do that,
us.
I'll take
He's
care of
above
the
us.
bruises. Oh,
Oh, he's
Oh,
behind
oh,
you.
He's in front of you.
he's
Oh, I
everywhere.
went for 42.
Oh heck yeah!
worry, I
You
caught-
got
I
it. You
caught
got
that.
it.
Okay, you got it. Yeah!
Yeah, nice.
Okay, heal.
Nice stuff.
I'm resin real quick.
Once you res me, we'll double res the rest,
Yeah, goes faster.
and then we'll triple res.
We got a guy in the car coming right at us.
It's fine.
Okay, watch out.
I got shot from behind. We got people behind us. It's a whole other squad.
Oh God. All right, I'm exposed.
I don't think they're in the car yet.
Oh, I gotta reload. Ooh, I hit that guy for 100. Miku for 100. He's white. Oh, I got shot from the back. There's a guy on the hill. Right there.
People everywhere. Oh my God.
Yeah, we're getting flanked from all angles, bro.
I'm hiding in a bush.
I got executed.
I got jumped.
No, don't worry, guys.
I'm
I got
down. I'm out.
It's up to you, bro.
It's one
Just hide in a bush.
v
Hide in a bush.
Don't even
One
try.
v 3.
Kill Chun Li.
No, I have to reload. Oh man. Hey, number 4. Number
Hey
4.
man, not bad, not bad, not bad.
She emoted on me. Oh my God, that's so messed up.
Gotta hate
That's
it
the
when they
Eastwood.
emote.
Yeah.
We placed 4th. How many people